Hey. Andy, here. Welcome to Noisegate. Today we are talking about 6 delay types that you must have in your arsenal if you are a guitar player. If you're not a fan of Pink Floyd and you're not a fan of U2, you're probably not watching anything about delays anyway, but this is not the video for you. We're going to make reference to some of the most well-known versions of these delays, both in terms of how they were played, where they were played, and some famous versions of the pedals themselves. Today in our video, we are using the Source Audio Nemesis delay because A, it sounds really good, and B, it's got all of these delay types in it. Easier than plugging and unplugging. We know how it goes. Let's check out some of the sounds. The first delay is SlapBack Delay. As the name implies, it's just slapping back what you played right back at you. It sort of came from the early 1950s recordings, and you would use it almost like a reverb. It's very well popular with country music and sort of early rockabilly type music. And it sounds something like this. Now, I've got my tap tempo set for 16th notes. So if I tap 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, it'll be a 16th note that slaps back. Let's have a listen. Now, slapback can also be used to fill out the sound a little bit, or maybe to make it sound like there's a little bit more going on. Chet Atkins style. Very good for thickening and widening your guitar parts. Next up, we have analog delay, and specifically I'm talking about analog delay in the style of the Electro-Harmonix Deluxe Memory Man. This is a very, very famous pedal and probably one of the most recognizable pedals, the big box one at least anyway. The analog delay is a slightly darker delay sound, and it trails off, and each repeat of the signal gets degraded a little bit. Gives it this nice warmth. A lot of analog delay has modulation on it too, on the delayed sound, and you can hear that in especially players like The Edge from U2, and you have this really nice warm modulated delay sound. Let's have a quick listen to something like this. So you can hear that the delays are getting darker and as they trail on. Something that you can do when you turn up the modulation is you get this really warm modulation. This is especially good for filling in space, as a lot of delays are, and why you often see bands with one guitar player using a lot of delay. We'll see that a lot as we go through. Up next is the digital delay. The digital delay, as the name implies, is digital. It's a very, very clean replica of what you just played. Famous versions of this might include the Korg SDD3000 rack unit or the Boss DD7 or DD3 delay. What we've got here is we've got a very, very exact repeat. Now, I've set this delay to be what we call dotted eighths. So that means the eighth note is 1.5 eighth notes after my note. So if I tap this, 1, 2, 3, 4, I get. Now this sound is the sound from, again, sorry to bring up the edge again, but that sound, or of course, Sweet Disposition. We all know this song. A very, very popular delay sound and really, really good at filling in space. So if you need an interesting part in your song that you're playing or that you're recording for someone, you can see I wasn't doing much and it was a huge sound coming out of that. Dotted eighth digital delay. Everybody needs one. That delay that I just played then, another analog delay, more in the style of something like the Boss DM2 or the Ibanez AD8, which are bucket brigade, which is a type of chip in the delay, bucket brigade delays. They have a much darker repeat and sit really well behind anything that you're doing. I like to use these sort of delays in solos because it doesn't get in the way of what I'm playing, which is very important, obviously. So let's have a listen. What I'm playing is very clear, and the delay, whilst filling out the sound, is not in the way at all. Very useful delay. Recognize that song? Of course you do. That is the Police. That delay is tape delay. Now, tape delay is kind of where it all started. Tape delay is literally a magnetic tape that was playing back in real time. The most famous of these being the Maestro Echoplex EP1 or EP3, made famous by everyone from Jimmy Page to Van Halen to, of course, Andy Summers from the Police. That sound, you can hear the tape. Original tape machines are quite bright. The repeats are quite bright, but they have also a really nice musical quality to them. The tape, as it got played, would often degrade. Now that caused some strange artifacts, which I'm sure at the time people didn't want, but we've all grown to love these sounds. This is why we put modulation on our delay signals. We're trying to imitate these imperfections of tape. So let's have a listen again, just to the delayed signal, and you'll hear that kind of modulation and that bright repeat. It's a really great sound. For the last delay that I'm going to show you today, we're going to go with something a little bit more unusual, but a very, very useful delay. This is a multi-tap delay. So it's got two delay sounds that are kind of running into each other. This is used by people like Andy Timmons, who almost uses his delay like a reverb. Now, the good thing about this is that you get your sort of washy, reverberated sound without the kind of big, cavernous reverb sound some players don't like. So this has a slightly darker delay with what we call the diffusion, or the sort of spread of those delays up, and so that the delay kind of washes into itself. Let's have a listen. So you can hear those two, da, 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 da. And then the delays cross over each other and they create this beautiful wash. So again, really great behind solos or behind solo guitar pieces, I suppose, because it doesn't get in the way. Let's have a bit of a listen. Again, if we tap it in. So a great way to fill out sound in your solo and really, really bring it out without having to put a whole lot of reverb on. So there you have it. 6 delay types that you need. Let us know in the comments below which one was your favorite, and also let us know which one we might have forgotten. As I mentioned at the start, we're using the Source Audio Nemesis delay today because it's got everything in it. There are plenty of other versions of this sort of thing on the market with all delay types, very versatile. You can also find, of course, many individual pedals that do one delay type really, really well. My advice, try them all. See you next time.